Welcome to lecture 16. Today I am going to speak about blast furnace operation steps. What are those particular steps and how this particular blast furnace operation is significantly works. First, charging the blast furnace. How do you feed? What is the charging material? What is the raw material? So you feed into. After processing raw material, for example iron ore, it is supposed to be beneficiated through the mineral processing steps, and that particular iron ore is blended or mixed with limestone and coke in the charging process, feed into the entire blast furnace. After that, as it is been filled up to the stock level, arc blast supplied after preheating it into 900 degrees Celsius temperature from the cheers. It is been supplied slowly. That particular solid charge softens, and after, as it is been passing into the chemical reactions from the CO generated from the coke. CO from the coke is, after the supply reacting with the arc blast, CO generates with the coke, and that particular CO ascends to the top of the blast furnace. The solid charge is descends, reacts, and that particular material softens, and slowly as it reaches to the near the burst zone, it starts into the molten metal form. This particular molten metal form could be in the form of molten pig iron and slag. These things supposed to be separated because based on the nature of this particular slag and molten metal, molten pig iron sinks to the bottom of the surface, and this particular limestone which was mixed combines with this particular impurities associated with the iron ore and forms slag content. That particular slag, because of its nature lower density than the molten pig iron, this lower density slag floats on the top, so that you can situate the slag tap hole at the top and molten pig iron tap hole at the bottom, and that particular distance will be around few meters, which are situated at the earth zone. One side molten pig iron tap hole and another side is molten slag tap hole are situated to the blast furnace, as we have seen in the last lectures. And there is a chance of the gases, art gases produces during these particular chemical reactions. As I mentioned, indirect reduction reactions, direct reduction reactions, CO and CO2, that particular gases goes to the top and exit. So these particular gases are not sent directly to the atmosphere. It is being taken, absorbed through the dust cleaning, gas cleaning system, and after cleaning it is been stored in the blast furnace gas stoves, and it is preheated, and that particular art gas again recycled to the art blast supply in the next operation. Initially you need art blast, and now let me talk about all these particular three steps one by one. The first step is distribution of charge from the top. If you take a conventional charging system, which is old one, there will be a large bell. This is large bell and small bell charging system diagrams. This is a schematic with complete label. This particular rod, there are two rods. One is small bell connected rod, the other thing is large bell connected rod, and this is a hooper where you are feeding the raw material from a skipping car using a skipping bucket, and you feed into the receiving hooper, which is kind of a bin, and this is being allowed to fall on this particular revolving hooper, and revolving upper, and there will be a stopper called small bell, and as it has been revolving, this material will fall into the large bell, and this is lip ring and it is completely gas sealed, and this is top of the blast furnace, looks like a cone shape top cone. And after this series of steps, from after filling this large bell, it is been the large bell which is closed cover is being taken up, the entire raw material fall into the blast furnace. In a similar manner, it has been filled completely, the blast furnace till the stock level it has been filled. Now let us discuss the principle, large and small bell charging system principle. The first, as it has been shown, revolving upper is rotated through 60 degrees. This is how the 60 degrees is been shown. From the first you will charge in the sequence in the small bell coke, and again another bin of coke and another 2 bins of ore you will charge from one to another. Once the coke is charged, when it is being going to the next one, it is revolved with the 60 degrees, and coke to ore again 60 degrees, ore to ore again 60 degrees, and second series again coke and ore. It is been dumped in the small bell in a similar manner. After this particular charging is carried out with the sequence CCO, the completely, for example, second one and third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth, 8 into 4, CCOO 4, 8 into 4, that is 32 skips. Using a skip bucket, you are charging in the receiving upper. From that again you are rotating the small bell so that it fall into the continuously in the large bell. Finally, after this particular complete steps are finished, 8 steps, 8 into 4 skip buckets is 32. Then this particular big bell is opened, big bell rod is moved to top, and entire raw material charged into the stack zone of the furnace. And C stands for coke, O stands for ore. And order of charging, if it is been chosen these particular schemes, what will happen? If coke is charged on the small bell first, then there is existence of excess coal at the wall and at the center as well as. If ore is charged in similar fashion, the excess ore will happen, and a narrow zone of there is no chance for the excess coke. And if you follow this particular n number of C into N, CC, O into M, OO, the system of charging is followed, even then the periphery is getting load with the coke. If this sequence is followed, if OM and CN system is followed, the periphery is getting charged by excess with the ore. And what is the solution in that situation? For this particular conventional and old large and small bell charging system, the solution is modern bell-less charging system. Use this particular ore and coke scheme charging separately, so that this ratio of mixing and excess periphery charge material will be reduced. There will be a decrease in the ratio. And how this particular excess, for example, excess ore, these are the layers. At the center there will be a large particles. 1 stands for large particle, 2 stands for small particle. Large particles will be settled at the center, small particles will be goes to the top. And if excess happens, and it will be at the periphery, it shows ump, that is M shape. And this is if there is no excess, that is V shape. It's supposed to be controlled, and this is also one of the problem. For that particular situation, the modern charging system, bell-less charging system, is invented by Paul Orth in 1917. This particular system is combined with the Hooper, receiving Hooper, and rotating distributing gate system or chute. Through this particular gating system, it is been solved. And this is a material bin 1, you can charge ore here, and this is material bin 2, you can charge coke here, ore and coke. And for controlling this particular bin, you will be having the upper sealing valve, you can open and close. Upper sealing valve, you will be closed here and it will be opened here, so that you can maintain. And this particular receiving hopper, you will charge initially ore, and using this particular mechanism, Hooper position mechanism, it is been taken to the ore section, ore bin, filling for the ore, and after filled it is been closed and it is been moved to the coke. This is open and this valve is closed, and this has been filled. And after this particular material is filled in this particular bin, it through this particular gate valve, these particular valves are, one is open so that you can release this particular ore, and you can close this, and after this you will close this and you will open this. Easy to control. And lower sealing valve, if there is at this particular junction also, when it has been mixed and feed, and this particular chute, this completely as it is been going to the stack zone, it has been rotated so that the mixing occurs properly. This is an advantage of bell-less charging system. The problems which was erased in the conventional charging systems are overcome by the modern charging bell-less charging system. What are the advantages? There will be flexibility in the charge distribution, small amount, large amount, you can feed and separately, and at the end you can distribute and you can mix properly, and total height of this particular top position in the blast furnace is less when you compare to the conventional system. And if there are any repairs are coming, you can access to that particular situation and you can close that particular valve and you can repair and you can fix. No need to shut down the entire blast furnace. And more operational safety, and because at every situation there are gas sealing valve and easy to control, and wearing of the pots is rather few when you compare it to the large bell and small bell system. Moving of this particular bell, the wearing of these particular bins, life of that particular bins reduces, and this when you compare to this particular bell-less charge system, inexpensive and with less cost you can repair, and substantial reduction of entire top part of the blast furnace construction coming down, and for various angle of raw material can be feed and you can mix them, and with the controlled flow gate and sealed gas sealed valve. And coming to this particular concluding of this particular lecture, what is the working principle of conventional blast furnace charging system, and how significant is the operation of bell-less charging system, how it is advantageous, and when you compare to the conventional blast furnace charging system, what is the charging sequence followed in the conventional charging system, blast furnace charging system. You think about these particular questions and write down in your notebook, preparing notebook, so that it will be useful in your final exams.